Hello Gemini, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your weekly reading for the 27th of August to round about the 2nd of September. Now, you may notice you've got a slightly different view this week if you've watched me before, but I just managed to kill my tripod, so I have to wait until I can get another one. I've been using my mobile phone to do the readings because it just is a little bit easier to manage than my camera. Your reading today may not resonate with you, so if it doesn't, please check out your other aspects of your chart, your moon, rising, ascendant, and Venus, because one of those might resonate with you better. I'd like to say thank you to the new subscribers. Can't talk today. The people who've subscribed to my channel was what I'm trying to say. I am so humbled by the fact that I've already reached nearly 100 and did not expect a good response. So I feel very honoured that people are enjoying my readings as much as I do. So Gemini, the cards I'm using today are the After Tarot by Julia Massaglia. And I'll also pull you an oracle card from the fortune reading cards by Sharina Starr and Richard Crooks. Okay, let's get cracking. So at the bottom of the deck, oh my goodness, this is the third star sign I've had with the Hierophant at the bottom, or the Hierophant. I think if I remember rightly, one of them turned out to be a bit of a career read and one of them was a love read. This person represents organisations, big organisations, governments, police, whatever. It can represent marriage, stability. It certainly talks about ordered control. And it could be, even around a hospital or, something like that as well. So your reading for this week could go either way, but Gemini, you've got the Hierophant on the bottom. Okay, the first card out of the deck is the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords can talk about, well, it's certainly at the end of it's the end of a cycle. And it's an end of a cycle that has been quite painful because it often talks about betrayal. So whatever this energy is that you're coming out of here, it's nearly done. I feel like you've been through quite a lot of hurt and pain in the very recent future. The fact we've got here the Hierophant on the bottom here, it may be that you've actually been unwell. So it's possible that you've come out of a period of time when you haven't been feeling great. But it's a good thing that it's the 10 because you're nearing the end of the cycle. If you've had your heart broken and this is the card of betrayal, please understand that you are about to finish this up now. You've done the work that you need to do. The pain is about to leave you for something better. It's certainly not the greatest card to get first up, that's for sure. Okay, Gemini, second card out is the Star. So, okay, that's very nice actually coming straight after the Ten of Swords because that tells me you are definitely healing. This is the card of healing. It can be the card of a wish. But in this particular instance, I would say that you've done a lot of work on yourself to heal yourself from this pain you've gone through. So it could have been that you've come out of a broken relationship. It could have been that you've been betrayed by someone you loved, even if it wasn't a relationship, maybe family member. But it certainly says that you've healed from that and you're ready to move forward. You're ready to take on the next stage of your life. So that's quite lovely. Okay, so I'm looking at this now thinking that you've actually been betrayed by someone in not a very nice way. So it feels to me like somebody may have done something down and dirty to you, and this is what the energy you're coming out of here. It's very possible that you could have been in a relationship where somebody cheated on you. You could have had someone steal from you, but whatever this is, this card is definitely giving that feeling that you've gone through something that was not very pleasing. But again, the Star here says that you're, ready to take on the world now and you have to leave this behind. Sometimes when we've been hurt by something and we're in that Ten of Swords energy, it's sometimes hard to put this down. Obviously, this is a Seven of Swords and 3 swords are missing here with your 10. So it could have been a third party situation as well. So it could be you're walking away from, something that you've been hurt because you've been cheated on or somebody's done the down and dirty on you. But whatever it is, you're letting this energy go. Okay, now at the moment you're a little dissatisfied with life, and I don't blame you. It sounds a bit like you've been through some pretty treacherous stuff, but you're feeling a bit pissed off with life at the moment. It's almost like I don't really want to deal with anything at the moment. This energy will change. I feel like you're at the moment sort of in this sort of mentality that, you know, you're done with, it could be if this is a relationship that you're done with men or women. I don't want to take anybody's offer at the moment. I'm, you know, bored and over this sort of, you know, relationship thing, and maybe you're thinking it's a good idea to stay single at the moment, or, you know, not go near the person or go near people that may hurt your feelings. You might have needed to take some time out of the world to do this healing, but you're certainly feeling a bit disinterested or disheartened by what's happened. Okay, the next card out is the Queen of Swords. Now, this to me feels like you've had to do some cutting out of people in your life. It really does. It feels like you've had to really speak up to defend yourself. So it could have been this situation put you in this position where you had to do a lot of defending. Maybe you cut this person out because of things they've done, and your family came down on you for taking that approach. But you know what? I think you stood in this power that you have here, and you've done what was necessary. You didn't do anything that you didn't need to do. It's almost like you've decided you can't move forward in this energy, and you've had to cut things out. And that's fine. Like, you know, sometimes we just have to do that. What I like about this, though, that I've just noticed, she has a butterfly on the end of her sword. And I think that's really very indicative of this reading, because it's almost like, you know, you feel this just a little bit of a sense of relief and, you know, and transformation at the moment. It's not great, but it's come after this speaking out. So it's almost like you've had this breath of fresh air here, and you realise that you've done the right thing. That's lovely. Okay, then we have the Knight of Swords out of here. So I still feel that there's some work to be done. It could be that you've had a bit of retaliation by doing some of this stuff too. And someone actually is coming back to you with very strong words as well. I think that when you're prepared to speak out and you're prepared to say what's on your mind or in your heart, you always run the risk of people being retaliatory, because they lose face and they need to defend themselves. So this energy has this, you know, I'm here and I've done what I need to do. I've told people how I'm feeling and what I think and what I want, but there is somebody here who may be coming back to give you a little bit back again. I wouldn't worry. It looks like you're standing in your power. You've done your healing. You're, you know, quite ready to take on this energy. So please don't worry too much. The Queen of Wands comes out next, and it could be that you've had a fight with a sister or a close friend. It feels like that sort of energy. And I've got the two queens sort of facing off against each other here. It could be a partnership thing where you've had a face-off against somebody, and it might just be that one of you is showing up as a Wands and one as a Swords. The Queen of Swords, of course, is the card of Gemini, is the card of the air signs. So it could be that this is you and this is the person that you fought against. The Queen of Wands could be a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries. But the fact that this is in the middle says to me that they haven't finished. They're going to come back and give you another serve. I don't think you've got rid of this person that easily. I think they've done the wrong thing, but they perhaps aren't taking responsibility here in understanding that this was their doing. And they're now trying to defend their right. So, you know, maybe too, this means you need to take more of a Queen of Wands approach and put your sword down. Maybe you need to take a bit more of a strong, passionate, focused, standing in your power approach rather than coming in with words. So maybe the swords were great when you first did what you need to do, but now you need to have a bit more of a logical, perhaps a bit more... you know, it's not really the most grounded card, but I think it's coming in a lot more grounded than the Queen of Swords. Okay, now your next card out is the Temperance, and that makes sense here because what it's saying is that, you know, it's great to handle things with words and, you know, cutting things out, but sometimes you have to bring yourself back to balance with this Temperance card. I think this is a time now where you have done what you needed to do. You've done your healing and you've moved into this energy. But perhaps now what you're seeking is some temperance. You could be dealing with a Libra, but I feel this is much more your energy here. It's almost like you've taken on this very very sort of much more subtle approach. It's like you've run around, you've done all your work, you've done whatever you needed to do, and now you're sitting back in this energy of balance. So you really have sort of like circled round and come back to a really nice place, Gemini. And you've brought stability back now. Look, I feel that maybe this energy of, having problems and issues with someone has gone on for some time. I feel like that perhaps, when this betrayal comes, it's almost like you'd already done your grieving. Maybe, it was a shock to you that this betrayal happened. But I actually think that it's brought you to this place of stability, which is where you were before you got into this energy. So it's almost like you've done your full cycle and you're coming out the other side. Because out of this, you're going to find yourself in a much more stable place, ready to move forward. And this energy of feeling dissatisfied and unhappy will eventually go. But you're not ready to take any other offers. You're certainly not ready to have apologies or anything like that. And it might be why you're sitting back in this very subtle energy on your throne going, I just don't want to speak to anybody at the moment. I'm not going to go out and do any more cutting out, shouting and yelling, whatever I need to do. Now I want to just sit back and just let things happen. Let it just work its way out. Now, then in comes this Nine of Swords here. So I feel like even though you've reached this stability and this this sort of nice balance in your life, it's almost like the other person's not quite let up on this yet. I feel like they're going to keep going with this. I feel like you've done what you needed to do, but I don't think they're ready to let go of you here. They're still a bit angry, even though they done the wrong thing, and it's quite clear here that the energy was of them doing the wrong thing. I mean, there's always a possibility it could have been you, but it certainly feels like that's not your energy. Whatever it is, it's like you're the one now having to deal with this repercussions of this. It could be a bit of shame and guilt, which you don't need to have if you've done the right thing, but it's almost like it's playing on your mind now, whether you whether you've done the right thing or not. You're replaying this in your head. I feel like you've done a lot of work here with this healing card to bring yourself around to a very balanced place. Don't let your thoughts make you second guess what you've done. Because I really feel that you're moving on. You're moving on successfully. You're leaving this behind. Don't take, this energy with you of overthinking. And you're an air sign. You spend a lot of time in your head thinking things through. Don't do that to yourself. Make sure that you understand that you've done what you needed to do. This has gone through a story here, and you've come out the other side. I'm just going to put an extra card on this here. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so you will come out of this energy because this is the card of moving forward here. I feel like at the moment you're questioning whether you've done the right thing, whether you've, dealt with this in the most successful way. I believe you have. I believe you've done what you needed to do, and you've, spoken your truth. You've done away with people who've you've needed to cut out of your life. And I think that's a good thing, because now it looks like you're moving on to something new. You've got the world in your hands. You're looking forward. You're very passionate about a new start, and it's almost like you're ready to accept now it's time to move forward. Okay, Gemini, I'll just pop an oracle card on that for you, just to get a little bit of feedback from the universe. They got that one. Okay. Oh, look, that's lovely. Okay. So the card that's come out for you is goals. And it says progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. And I think that's a very good card to have on top here, because it's like you've done what you needed to do. You've sorted through it. You've come through the other side. And now you're looking to move on with that. And, and look forward and make goals. I mean, you might be thinking about doing an overseas trip here. You may be thinking about what can you do now to do the rest of your healing. You might want to, head out on a bit of a holiday. You may want to get into another relationship. You may be ready to move on to something like that. But it definitely feels that goals is a good outcome for that, because it talks about you making progress. Rightio, Gemini, that's your reading. Thank you for blah, blah, blah. Thank you for watching.